Probably a good idea to put that up. Sorry about that. Live again. Very good morning to you. This is the Your Green Breakfast wash up, going through the news stories from this morning. And we began with a very interesting story from the Daily Echo. William Dalgleish wrote that. And it was all about the eels, or the young eels, and creating a way to get them up the river. And this is part of the Freshwater Habitats Trust project, with funding from the government's Species Survival Fund. And it uses 2-meter 6 pipes installed beneath an access track designed to carry water and provide safe passage for elvers. Something I didn't know. Elvers was the young word for eels. And also they use resin and shingle to line the pipe and give the eels a grip so the elvers can go up the track. Also, we talked about in the news is the Ford is backing away from plans to manufacture large electric vehicles. I think that's good news. A story from the BBC there. And why is that good news? Well, electric vehicles are very heavy, bad for the roads in many respects. And also, you need giant batteries. And until the batteries are better, lighter, and more environmentally friendly, it just makes more sense to do smaller electric cars. Most car journeys are not across a giant land. They're not across countryside. They're in the city, and giant cars are also very scary for children. You've just got to put yourself in their shoes, and they're seeing these giant cars go past, and if they're silent or silentish, that is another factor in making it seem not so safe outside. So a good story there, but they are aiming to do more hybrid and gas-powered vehicles. I'm not too sure about gas power. That seems to be something that is difficult to implement, only because it's harder to get gas places. So, but I think Ford are slow to market, but maybe that's going to help them in the long run. And as far as the Guardian story is, this is probably the most fascinating one from an environmental perspective, but also from a human perspective, because this has the story of how many glaciers are disappearing. And more than 100 are due to melt away permanently by 2033. That these are in the Alps, the European Alps. But also glaciers in Western United States and Canada forecast to reach their peak of loss less than a decade later, with more than 800 disappearing each year by then. And it is, of course, they say, caused by human caused by global heating. But what I didn't realize here was that communities around the world have been holding funeral ceremonies for lost glaciers. Isn't that sweet? But it also highlights how important a glacier is for the local community, and how much it's loved, even though it's just like a large blob of ice. It moves. It has. I'm sure it makes noises. It better has character. And the global glacier casualty list, excuse me, records the names and histories of those that have vanished. There are going. How many glaciers do you think there are worldwide? Well, it's 200,000, and 750 apparently are disappearing each year. However, research indicates this pace will accelerate rapidly as emissions from burning fossil fuels continues to be released into the atmosphere. Of course, this show in particular will say, as long as we keep on putting pollution into the ocean, this is something we'll talk about over the coming weeks. But pollution in the ocean is just as bad as pollution in the atmosphere, for having given us problems with the climate. And then we also heard from Teddy Michaelides. He's from Netley, which is just a small village on the outskirts of Southampton. And he's been collecting plastic tubs that hold sweets. And they are very popular. Used to be made of tin or metal, used to be much better as a thing in the house, because you would always use them again. You wouldn't throw them away. But if you were going to throw them away, they would go into the recycling, into the metal. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. So That's a brilliant story. It's on our website. It's on our YouTube channel. Interview with Teddy. He's only 6. He's in his 3rd year of collecting. Last year he got 2,500 tubs. He's aiming for 5,000 this year. So I think he's brilliant. And also has been to Parliament in the United Kingdom, invited to Parliament, which is for a 6-year-old fantastic. But also he handed out letters. So not only is he making a difference, but he's meeting the right people and also delivering a message. And that should give, if you're an environmentalist or someone who's thinking about being one, or maybe still reluctant to put your head above the parapet, then this is obviously a great thing to happen. And I don't yawn during the show, which is quite funny, but suddenly I am here. Um, But yes, he's doing very well, Teddy. Although I managed to call him Michael a couple of times during the interview, and he didn't say a thing, nor did his mum. What's going on there? So those are the stories at the moment. Also, in the main headlines, they were talking about the UK being the sunniest place. This is sorry, the sunniest the UK has been this year. So it's compared to all records, which is amazing. Another sign of change. A lot of people go, thumbs up for that. Thank you very much. That's good sign, but it's still another sign. Another sign that A, I'm tired, and B, that it's been changes upon us. We're just about to go through a yellow period of rain, and that means a yellow warning for rain in the south. It's been a very wet end of the year, and very dark, very little solar. So imagine if this month had been a bit cleaner and a bit bluer skies, we would have had even more solar power. Oh, good grief! Excuse me. Well, I think that's a sign that I should stop. This has been the Your Green Breakfast Wash Up. My name's Zan. Thank you for joining me, and back again tomorrow for another recap on what's going on. And soon we'll be answering questions and having conversations. Have a great green day.